everybody, Shawn here. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Suhr Hedgehog 50. Really great sounding amplifier that's steeped in that American hot rodded amp sound history, and you'll certainly hear that when I demo it. Now this is a single channel amp but dual modes, so it's got an overdrive mode that is cascading that you can add in or out, and that's fully programmable. And speaking of things that are programmable, you have a series of mode switches that can be turned on or off via the front panel, but they can also be programmed, and you can change up to 4 programs via the foot switch that comes with the amplifier. So you've got a boost mode, it boosts the gain. You've got a bright mode, a mid mode, a deep mode. Now there's 2 settings in the deep mode. In the yellow setting, it adds a little bit more low end. In the green setting that you see here, it adds the most low end. And then you can program the effects loop as well, on or off, either in series or mix, or what would be considered parallel. Now I'm going to let you guys hear the loop in series because that's how my Strymon timeline is set up right now. And then of course you can turn on your overdrive mode as well from the front panel, and that's totally programmable. Now potentiometer wise, it's pretty straight ahead tone stack. You've got volume, treble, middle, bass, and level for that channel or sound. And then when you add the overdrive, you have a separate drive and level. Now the only thing that goes away when you turn on the overdrive is the level control on the right side of the amp, which makes sense because that allows you to balance your low gain or clean sounds with your higher gain overdrive sounds. And of course I don't want to forget the presence control over here that sounds really sweet. Now this is a 50 watt amp, so it's got 5881 tubes that are pretty bold sounding, and it's 12 AX7s in the preamp section. I believe there's 4 of them. Now it's paired with the Hedgehog cabinet that sounds amazing. It's the right cab for this for sure. It's a semi closed back 2x12, and it's got the Celestion G1265s in it. You're going to hear it with my usual microphone combination, which is Royer and a 57, and of course I've got the cabinet in a separate room. So without further ado, let's check out this Suhr Hedgehog 50. Okay, so you guys are hearing the Suhr Hedgehog 50. Now the sounds that you just heard are basically 3 real quick programs I did to just give you guys an overall view of the versatility in an amp like this. It is essentially just a single channel amp with an overdrive mode. So the overdrive is being cascaded into by the single channel. So we're going in this direction into the overdrive as a cascading overdrive, not an overdrive channel. So everything is sharing the same EQ, but you can hear I had 3 great sounds, and you can actually program 4, and we'll get into that in just a second. Now the first thing I want to show you is just how the EQ section sounds. I'm just going to kind of sweep these controls and let you hear them, and then we'll move on to the mode switches from there. So here's just a basic clean sound with no mode switches on. Now I'll go ahead and turn the treble all the way up so you can hear that. So it's a pretty sweet sounding treb circuit. It doesn't get overly strident or harsh. Now here's the mid. I'll go ahead and turn that all the way up. You can hear it adds gain as well as mids and a little bit of top end. Turn it off. Gets really scooped out. I like it set about right there. Now the bass, I'll go ahead and turn that all the way up. pretty huge sounding bass, but it doesn't get overwhelming. And then of course the level is the output, and then you're going to have a separate level control when you turn on the overdrive that will bypass the level on this side. So you can use those to balance your overdrive tones to your non-overdrive or clean tones. Now let's check out the mode switches before we get into the overdrive. I'm going to stay on this basic clean sound for a second. Sounds really sweet, it's really warm, but what if you'd like it to be a little bit more toppy without changing your treble? And hit the bright switch. So that's really sweet right away. What if we want to maybe boost that sound? That sounds really sweet. What if we want to add some mid bark to it? We'll go ahead and hit the mid switch. What if we want to add some low end? Now we've got some bark and a little bit of bite in the top end. Maybe we'll add some lows. Here's the first mode. So that's adding a little bit more low end. We can hit it again. It'll turn green, and that's adding the most low end. So we got so many tones out of this channel just by turning switches on and off, and the fact that they're programmable is so cool. So let me turn all of these off, and we'll check out the overdrive channel. So keep in mind, we're sharing the same EQ, and we're cascading into the overdrive channel. Now I think what I'll do really quick is just let you guys hear the amount of gain. So right now, that's pretty low gain. Sounds great. We don't have any modes on or anything. Now I'll start turning up the drive. Now keep in mind, as you start turning up the drive, it will increase in volume. So you have to keep an eye on that, especially as you're balancing between the two modes. So you can see there, I turned on the effects loop just really quick because I thought it would sound cool to add some delay to that sound. But you can hear that, I mean, it'll go from really sweet kind of lower gain overdrive to ultra high gain. Now, what if you wanted to, let me turn the gain down a little bit. What if you want to add some mid bark to that? That sounds kind of nice. Maybe add some lows, maybe just a little. We can add a little bit of presence. Now that presence is global, so you're going to hear what happened on both channels, but I know turning up the presence isn't going to totally mess up my cleans. It's just going to make them that much sweeter. We can boost it. Or what if we want it to be really kind of searing? So once again, we got so many sounds just turning on the mode switches. So the one thing I want to show you really quick with that in mind is the programmability. So right now, I'll shut all the mode switches off and just show you how easy it is to kind of pick a sound. So let's say we wanted to go maybe a boosted clean, and we'll add, let's go ahead and add the delay. And we want to keep that as is, so we'll hit the store switch. It's going to start blinking. Now I can either hit one of the 4 switches on the foot switch to choose what program I want, or I can do it in the front here on the amp, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So I'm going to go ahead and store that as 1. So now if we switch to 2, that's what was originally there. Switch back to 1, and you can see the series effects loop came on. And let's say we wanted to have our program 2. Yeah, let's go with a boosted kind of overdrive humbucker thing. Staying on the clean channel. So we can store that. Let's have that be program 2. We're not even on the overdrive yet, so maybe go to the overdrive, and let's go with just kind of a barky overdrive. That sounds cool. Let's go ahead and store that. We'll store that in 3. So now we've got sweet clean to our medium crunch to more overdrive. And maybe have our last sound be kind of our slicker tone. And I've already got something going here. And that's our solo sound with delay. So there you have it. We've got 4 really great sounds on a single channel amp. This is just a really great sounding, great feeling amplifier. If you've got any further questions, go to the website and check it out. And as always, I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you next time.